Chase by Dallas, make it hurt.
Hey guys, welcome to an episode of Let's Talk Commercial Real Estate Investing, the Black Community Edition. Education Wednesdays. I'm your humble host, Dominic Green, Managing Partner of Tenneco Commercial Real Estate Services here in the DFW area. Today I just wanted to not necessarily check in, but just pop in briefly. I don't know if you can see that construction happening behind me. That's a bank that's building their office building. Bank's got all the money, right? So that office building's gonna be real fancy. I think that's actually part 2. Nonetheless, pop in, man, and just talk. If you haven't been paying attention, in the news especially, hearing everything about the Delta variant of COVID kind of rapidly spreading through, or increasing infection rates and whatnot. Mostly, accordingly, from what they're saying, is all the people that's been unvaccinated. But then also, now supposedly the CDC is recommending, even for vaccinated people to wear a mask indoors. So and it's supposed like in LA County, they were already back to wearing masks indoors. So, with all that being said, how does that affect, our goals of investing in commercial real estate and the different sector or niches of commercial real estate? And honestly, I don't think it's going to have too much of an impact, because especially while I'm in Texas, I don't foresee them doing any type of shutdown again. I think, that's kind of one of the one time only things. So more or less everything's going to stay open. Will they mandate people to have masks? Maybe, maybe not. Will they create some type of, I've been hearing these vaccinated passports to where they're only letting in people who are vaccinated? Maybe, maybe not. Will business owners kind of get into that? Who knows? Especially for businesses that were hurt dramatically during COVID, especially during the shutdown or the lockdown. They're trying to recover revenues. They're already struggling trying to hire people back. They're understaffed. Stuff is costing a little bit more, as far as food costs, material costs. And I don't see, majority of them closing down. And then you're also hearing some of your larger corporations, mostly some of your Fortune 500, saying that they're delaying the return of their employees back to the offices. So they plan where everybody was kind of mandating, or some of them were mandating to come back, or they had already a certain date for coming back. Some of them were delaying, and I think some of them are also going to go back to implementing, certain social distancing strategies. So that may put in play the work from home or hybrid work place policies for a little bit longer. And then you still have some companies where they're going to be mandating, like, hey, if you don't get vaccinated, You can't come to work, period. And you're fired, right? So I think it's going to cause a lot. But I think even with that, even with this past COVID thing, how we were able to come out of it, the expectations, having more reserves on hand for any year of stuff that you currently own, start working towards that. For stuff that you plan to buy, just put that in your underwriting to have more reserves, just for another hiccup or whatever may happen, just to be prepared. Because the last thing we want to do is when we own stuff is to be forced to sell, right? Especially to be forced to sell at a loss. So, but I think overall, the certain fundamentals and certain niches are going to stay strong, like demand for multifamily housing, affordable housing. It's still going to be there. Office is kind of picking up some as people are kind of getting more accustomed to the new workplace environment, how they're going to be able to interact, the policies, how they get things done, how they're going to shift certain workforces to maybe, they're going to do more stuff from home as opposed to being in the office. Retail, they're probably going to maintain healthy signs back up, telling people to wear masks, social distance, just kind of the things that they were doing prior to, right? Even with the relaxation of restrictions. But people are still out shopping. As you know, my last video, even when we're on vacation, people are out vacationing, man. People are trying to get back to a sense of normalcy. Even though things won't ever be normal again, but some sense of being out, spending money. I was listening to one of the guys out in California. I want to say it's Carousel. He's one of the big developers out there, real estate developers. Owns a lot of stuff out there. And he said, man, their retailers are doing, a lot of business. Things are looking up. They're on pace to do, pre-COVID sales as far as sales per square foot. Because they also own malls. They own, destinations or your power centers. Where you have theaters and living and restaurants and all that good stuff. In California, mostly. So, you said retail's doing well. You still have other aspects of retail that was still doing well during the pandemic. I still see those deals that come across my desk as well. Let's see. Like I said, hotels. But everything is local. Real estate is local, right? So what may be happening on a national scale may not be happening locally. So having boots on the ground, doing your due diligence, as I told you last time, and I keep saying it again, is important. But again, looking at the fundamentals, right? What is the fundamental drivers of your investment? Supply and demand, the basics. Your investment thesis on why you're investing, how you'll be able to return the invested capital to your partners, and so forth and so on, all right? And then also just looking back and see how we did during COVID. But nonetheless, I think, there may be some additional minor hiccups here and there, which you need to plan for, have reserves for, and all that. But I think the trajectory of growth is going forward. I think people are just going to keep pushing forward, man, and come to the realization that this is just going to be part of life, For how long, who knows? But, adjust and keep moving. So for us as investors, or looking to invest, like I said, take that in stride and keep looking. I know one of the topics that I probably mentioned a while back, and I was talking about student housing, especially in your tier 1 power conferences. They've recovered as far as leasing, pre-leasing. I've seen, especially like in Austin, man, there's new development coming. for student housing there, prime location. So there's going to be more supply to fulfill the demand for people that want to stay off campus. It's going to have all the amenities, which, again, for those that are interested in looking at student housing, man, it's a whole different animal. You definitely have to be cognizant of managing those type of properties, because leasing and pre-leasing, if you don't get it right, you're going to be in trouble. Because nobody's coming to lease your property afterwards, you know. Medical office, still a hot commodity. Senior living, I'll do a follow-up on that. Hold on one second. Senior living, I think that'll probably be a topic I'll talk about a little more next week, as I'm trying to get back in the gear of things are coming back. Because, again, the basic fundamentals of that, more and more people are getting older day by day. You had a lot of people that, well, some of your investors were taking advantage of the hotels that were struggling and converted those into, you know, independent or senior living light, as they call it, facilities. Because, you know, a lot of hotels already had a lot of the amenities that you want, areas for recreation, indoor pools, outdoor pools, hallways were wide enough to accommodate. The rooms were pretty much set up, especially if they're like extended stay type suites. So I think senior living, it still has that strong demand. As I talked about, even with affordable housing, like, if you pay attention to what's going on, affordability is an ongoing theme, ongoing trend, ongoing conversation. So what do those people do? So there's an opportunity to provide and invest in that. Like I said, with senior living, people are getting older. That's not going to change. It means they're going to, you know, and in some instances, as they get older, they're going to need, you know, more services to be provided to them. And that's a whole different sector with assisted living, right? We have skilled nurses and extra staff that are specialized to provide additional services, memory care, all that, memory care facilities, where you get a little bit more specialized, right? Hospice, you know. But, you know, most people, from what they were building, new construction was lifestyle, right? Independent living. People that didn't need assistance, you know, 55, 65 and up, or 62 and up. But I know affordable senior living is a huge gap, and there's not a lot of availability. Like I told you in prior videos, you guys been rocking with me, follow me as we have these discussions. You go to some of these facilities, man, they are in bad shape. And then you get phone calls because, you know, people know that you're in real estate looking for affordable senior living. They necessarily don't want to be, you know, around all the young people, more people around their age, doing activities that older people do, you know, on a little bit calmer, slower speed, but yet they still want access to the same amenities, similar amenities, conveniences that everybody else would get, right? And hopefully it's something that's affordable because, you know, they're on Social Security, their assets are not as big as those who, a lot of the for-pay seniors that a lot of the bigger guys are building for, that's not relying on any government assistance, whereas opposed to those that weren't. Those that are on government assistance, not so much. You know what I mean? Now, unless they're using tax credits and stuff like that to build for it, the difference in pace of what was being built for pay versus more for tax credit and affordable or subsidized was a huge gap. But as I was telling the guy having a conversation with, you can make millions and whatever, thousands, sticking with the thesis of being affordable, right? Providing great service, affordable prices, great experience, being cognizant of being on your maintenance, because there's been billionaires made out of that. Guy that owns Miami Dolphins, Mr. Ross, affordable housing. And of course, they expanded other things. The guy that everybody hates, Trump, affordable housing, billions of dollars. So, it is something that where there is an opportunity to segment yourself, to create your own niche, and go from there. Then you got the other side, all right? Know that as well. So it's really important just figuring out, what space you're on, where you feel comfortable, what you think makes sense to your personality, and go to there. And then one thing that's still hot, single tenant net lease deals, right? Your DaVitas. And there's one in Dallas, I think it's already traded twice. Had a significantly lower cap rate than what initially was going for, right? Just because of where it was located at. Affordable housing is all surrounded it. It's near a shopping center as well. And one thing you know about DaVitas, it's about dialysis, man. And so when you do your due diligence on the actual business and realize their business model, so those individuals have to come and get dialysis treatments, at least 3 times a week. So they're always getting, they always have customers coming. A lot of it's paid through the government as well. For a lot of people that are receiving treatment, which is covered under insurance. So you kind of, in a sense, have a strong demand, government supported, a condition that affects millions. There's treatments, but there hasn't been a cure. It's not actually a cure, and that's a whole different discussion, right? Is there money to be made in cures? There's more money to be made in treatments, right? But that's a whole different conversation for another day. But facilities like that, the cap rates have been compressed. But to me, when I look at those, even beforehand, I'm always thinking location, and what happens, how can I backfill? Like, who's the next tenant? So, location, the type of building, is it a newer build? How easy to convert to maybe a different type of medical use, more than likely, which I've seen. Because, again, some of them places are, the thing about some of these single tenant net lease deals, especially like that, these things will get built in the middle of damn near nowhere. So what is actually the long-term value? Because I'm thinking long-term. Anything that I'm looking to buy, I'm thinking to hold it long-term, 7, 10. And if it's something personal, that's, on main and prime, man, I'm passing it on to the next generation. We're gonna put that in a trust and keep it moving. And maybe sell someday, but more than likely keep it, man. Because one thing especially in markets like this, where you have very limited inventory, and I get it, some people have certain models where they're in and out. But for some, you spend so much time, energy, and effort to find it. Ride it a little bit. You know what I mean? And then figure out other ways for investors to get out if you had to do a recap, refi recap, bring new people in, get old people out, or if you got it, you can do it, buy those individuals out and keep it for yourself. You know what I mean? Especially if it's a property that has long-term potential and that's going to generate durable income. I'm all for it, man. And move on to the next one. And if come need be, use it as collateral. Cross collateralization. Man, essentially doing what everybody else does. They do it on a larger scale, the Blackstones, the KKRs. That's why I always tell you guys, I kind of follow what these guys are doing. You know, they got way more information. They're they're all over the globe. They're using certain strategies. You know, they're in the business of making money for their investors. Same thing we do, right? Making money for ourselves, for our investors, so we can fund the things that are most important to us. Causes, family, you know, you name it, right? So, just taking what they do and bringing it down to the scale that we're at. Process and strategy is the same. The amount might be different, completely different. And then some things are just some, you know, you may never ever get a chance to do because, you know, they have tens of billions of dollars, and based on their scale, they get privy to certain deals and pricing and transactions that, you know, just where we are, we won't be able to. Nonetheless, some of those strategies they use, we can definitely use. Some of the ways they structure their deals, we can do. So, you know, success leaves clues. The best form of flattery is imitation, right? So I'm gonna imitate what the big guys do. Everybody's doing the same thing when they talk about being Warren Buffett. Following what he does, value investing, making millions. There's no need to reinvent the wheel. And especially, like I said, with these guys, they have the money to take the risk, fail, and we learn from their failures. So, you know. But like I said, man, just want to drop in, talk a little bit about, because I know COVID's the Delta variant is being broadcast, or, you know, you're seeing a lot more of it on the news. Thus, it's important to kind of jump in and just have a brief conversation for us, because this is a platform that we have discussions about investing in commercial real estate as a people, as a group economics, working together, sharing our knowledge, sharing our experience, sharing our thoughts, trying to flesh out great ideas, trying to flesh out great opportunities for the benefit of us, right? Because as one guy said, nobody's coming to save us but us. And we all that we need in most cases, all right? Somehow, some way, the guy said that, you know, our memories have been flushed and made blank. You know, we were doing things before most people were doing, right? Creating, innovating. We got the skills, we got the knowledge, we got the desire. So now it's just coming back to working together again, collaborating, trust, doing what's in the best interest of everybody, doing the best interest of the whole, so we all can win, and not just one individual as they try to make it. So, like I said, sharing our experiences, working together, me, myself, providing any information I can, sharing what I learned. I'm always reading. I'm always trying to get better. There's nothing, you know, you never know everything. You never can learn everything. So, thank you guys for tuning in on this Wednesday. Let's continue to have these discussions. Like, share, subscribe, join the Facebook group, leave a comment, give the thumbs up, all that good stuff that we need to continue to grow the message, grow the platform, connect with one another, so we can continue to help one another, so we can do more. You know, business is a team sport, especially investing is. Those are those individuals that do it by themselves, but if we want to grow to a large scale, because I'm all about scale, all about scale, creating systems, doing better, working together. The more we can do, the better we'll be off. So again, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Like I said, probably next week I'll talk a little bit more about senior housing. I'll do some due diligence on that, catch up on that, so we can have that discussion. And then we'll continue on in the different sectors. If something pops up and changes, I'll definitely bring that to their attention as well. So again, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for rocking with me for as long as we've been doing it. I appreciate the guys, everybody that has subscribed. Like I said, share the message, be a part of the conversation. Creating a Facebook group, working on some other stuff so we can continue to have dialogue. So until next time, happy investing. Deuce.
These my dollars make it hurt.